Let's now see what tools you can use to grow GDP. The choice will heavily depend on the selected path. If you want to base your growth on discovering a rare valuable resource, you have to make big investments in three main areas. First of all, you have to be able to find the resources. Secondly, you have to be able to process them. Thirdly, you have to learn how to allocate money from those resources. Most countries that have the resources, unfortunately, waste them. A great example is Russia, which has invested money in the army and made a selected group of oligarchs extremely rich. Another notorious example is Venezuela. It has squandered its money on social transfers. Now let's move to the next option, increasing the population. There are two ways to achieve that. Firstly, you can increase the so-called fertility rate. The fertility rate measures how many kids on average a woman has. This boils down to convincing people to have more kids, usually by providing them with some sort of incentive and improving the services for families. Most countries are not able to achieve any meaningful results in that area. Therefore, you are left with the second option, increasing immigration. By immigration, we mean letting people from other countries become citizens of your country. Many countries use immigration to keep the population size at least at the current level. For example, Germany has to have immigration of around 400,000 people a year to keep the population at the current level of 80 million citizens. Without immigration, the population of Germany would shrink from around 80 million to 60 million in 20-30 years. If you are interested in increasing productivity, you will have to invest heavily in education and R&D. Productivity will also require huge investments in tools. By tools, we mean machines and software. A great example is bookkeeping. Thanks to proper software and computers, one person can do as much as 100 people 40 years ago. To increase productivity, you should also consider providing incentives for investments. This is mainly done through tax cuts. Many countries lack certain know-how. Therefore, you have to create or attract expertise. For example, in Eastern Europe, we had no clue how to run properly a market economy. Without the inflow of specialists from the USA and Western Europe, it would take us much longer to improve the productivity of firms. Last but not least, you should provide equal opportunities to different groups of people, regardless of their gender, race, or religion. One of the biggest jumps in productivity we have seen during World War II. As a result of the war, women were provided more opportunities to work. This was caused by a shortage of men who were sent to fight. As we have mentioned, big changes will require you to build new industries. The government can do it in many ways. First of all, you can create demand for products or services. For example, orders from European governments for airplanes enabled the building of Airbus, the second biggest producer of planes in the world. Without initial orders from European countries, it would not have been possible. Some countries will invest directly in certain industries. Usually, a state-owned firm is built with the hope that it may also find other customers. If you want to build a new industry, you will most likely also have to deregulate certain industries and provide tax incentives. Some industries are so complicated that you have to build a whole business cluster. By business cluster, we mean either many firms from the same industry operating close to each other, or firms that provide all necessary components for a specific industry. A great example of a business cluster is Silicon Valley. If you want to build tech businesses, you will find there everything you need, starting from coders and finishing with financing. Another example of a business cluster was Detroit. Everything you needed to build a car was there. Let's move to the last option, attracting new industries. To attract new investments, you need the rule of law. If the investor is afraid that you will steal his factory from him, he will not come to your country. Most investors will also expect some sort of tax incentives that will cover part of their investments. In Poland, the investor would not have to pay taxes till the potential taxes covered the capex related to building a factory. In a sense, an investor was getting a factory for free. To increase your chances of attracting more complicated industries, you will have to invest heavily in education and R&D. For example, Eastern Europe was able to attract producers from the car industry thanks to the fact that it was producing decent engineers in big numbers. As we have mentioned, deregulation may be required in certain industries, especially if you previously had restrictive laws. In some countries, deregulation will be driven by the specific needs of foreign investors. Finally, you will have to learn how to promote your country and negotiate with potential investors. Usually, countries set up central and regional agencies that actively search for and pitch investors. Most investors will know little about your country. Therefore, it will take a lot of effort and convincing to attract them. To sum up, make sure that the way you want to grow GDP is in line with the path that you have selected. You will most likely have to use a mix of different tools and not rely on only one.